Hello, Kenneth. How are you? Welcome, folks. Whoever else is there, just give us a hello so we can give you a shout out. Gary, what's going on? Mario, how are you? Howard, big up. Hanif, yeah, our regulars are jumping in. Appreciate it, guys. And you guys know the drill. Let's share the link and get everybody else involved. There's my mom, always here. So big up to my mom. Um, Gary, what's going on? Married. Lushane, what's up? Jason, what's going on? Um, Trying to share this myself. How is everybody doing? Mr. Makuk, what's going on? Everybody doing good? Do me a favor and share before we jump into what we're about tonight. One second, let me see if I can share this post. I can't find the link. It doesn't show up for me to share it. So I guess I'm out of luck. Usually it shows up on my feed right away. Anyways, I assume you guys are sharing. So I will leave that for later. Okay, so hope everybody's doing well. Big up Trudy for the great job she did last week. I think she's gonna be doing a lot more. Know that she get her feet wet again. Tonight we're gonna do question and answers. I'll take you guys' questions, answer them to the best of my ability. Stuff that I don't know about, I will definitely refer you to somebody that I know can answer those questions, or I'll come back with an answer. So, um, Lucien is jumping right into it. So let me just jump in since O'Shane is on it. One second. All right. Couple of things. One, let me start with, there was a discussion I saw on one of the Facebook groups, and it has to do with, really had to do with basically what Lushane is talking about here. How to make a profit out of goat rearing, because person making money but not making profit. That's a, a great question or comment or whatever. So let me try to unpack this. The discussion I saw that they were trying to, I said I was going to observe and see what the discussion is about. People are focusing on price of animals, people sending animals too expensive, goat meat is going to be too expensive for Jamaicans to eat. The list goes on. However, I didn't jump into the conversation, into the discussion, because I have a different perspective, right? And I couldn't make my point by typing. So I reserve that for the ability to speak on it and have counterpoints that I can speak on, right? The focus of people selling animals too expensive or goat meat is getting too expensive shouldn't be the focus of small goat farmers. It shouldn't be. And here's why. One, if you're starting a business and the market is there, the market is there. It's pretty clear Jamaicans eat goat meat. We can't, I don't know anybody in any of these groups that says they have a curry ram that they can't sell, or they have goat meat in their freezer that they can't get rid of. I haven't seen any discussion like that. So if somebody knows somebody, let me know. If you are in here and you have goat meat sitting on that you can't move, then say something. So with that said, that means if you have goat meat, you can sell it. The price of goat meat goes up because of its supply and demand, right? Goat meat go up at Christmas time all the time because the demand for it is there and the supply is limited. So people raise the price. If you're developing a goat meat business, raising your own goat and processing them and selling the meat, that is where the money is. You can't buy the animals and expect to make good money on it. You can't, you know, get into the fattening program, the fattening business, and expect to make good money on it. It's not going to work that way, because we all know people sell them goat at prices that sometimes you have to shake your head, but you know, it is what it is. So the focus of, you know, the pricing, people selling them goat too expensive, is I think is people shouldn't focus in that area. You should focus on building out your business, having some clients, figuring out how you can supply 5 restaurants or 5 teachers or whatever. Find people that you know are gonna buy meat every month or every week or every 2 weeks, and see how can I supply them. What does it take for me to supply these people with meat every month? And design your production around that. And then over time, scale it from 5 people, 10 people, 15 people, 20 people, so you can do a little restaurant. Just remember, scaling a production or a business like that is hard, right? So you have to be diligent. It's like any other business. You got to focus on the process, focus on the production system. How do you scale it? Because cut up goat meat is value added. That's why you can sell it. The live goat is 500, 550, $600. But the processed meat, dressed meat is 1100, 1200, whatever it is now. So that's value added. So you can start with a few people. Start with a few people and work your way out from there. Build out your system, right? The whole idea of worrying about what people are doing is misguided energy. Do what you need to do your research, do your assessment, do everything you need to do to figure out if your business model is going to work. What is the cost of an animal from birth to market? So then you can know how much profit margin you can get from that. Like how much you gonna put on it. Is it 20%, 30%? Um, that's what you got to figure out. You can't worry about the things you can't control. You know, it's just wasted energy. Worth Deal with the things you can control. You can control what happens on your farm. You can control how much you put into it. You can control how you manage it. You can control your production system. All those things you can control. So that's where you should put the energy. Don't worry about what the guy in St. Elizabeth or the guy in Portland or the guy in St. Thomas is selling his goats for, or what they post on the Facebook page, what they're selling it for. Because me buying an animal from Peter McCook to process it and sell it back to somebody, profit margin shrinks. But if I raise that animal, the profit margin is bigger. I just got to figure out how many animals I need to have to produce X amount of meat per month. If you don't have a massive farm that you can, do the numbers like Damian Crawford, then you focus on a smaller cluster of people that you service and sell quality meat to. Now you got to get into the quality business. You're not getting into mass meat delivery. You're getting into quality. You sell yours as quality, that people know that what they're getting, the quality is far and above everybody else, whether it's true or not. That's why you're selling, because your supply is limited. So then you get into special cuts, special services, everything. If you're a small operation, then you got to scale on the services and what you deliver to your customers, because your profit, that's where your profit margin is. So that discussion, I didn't jump into it. I see Darren here. I think he's the one who posted that discussion, that started that discussion, right? Let me see what Darren's saying here. Buy from guys were not influenced by the social media market and sell on social media. I made good money, but it was a short-term strategy. What else? making money from flip. Um, yeah, you can be like King Curry does it, and he does well at it. However, for me, to each his own. Everybody's got their thing, right? King Curry is an amazing salesman when he comes to that stuff. But if you really want sustainability and you want to build a brand that you can eventually exit the day to day or the grind of that business, then you can sell that brand or partner with somebody with that brand. You got to build a brand, a trusted brand. Like I see, maybe I'm, you know, looking at this from a too big. Like I don't see my business just doing what it does. I want to develop a brand that these big food companies, whether it's Grace, all the others, would say, "Yo, I want to partner with you because I like that brand, because that brand is trusted, that brand is well known in the space." So it's either you partner with them or you sell it to them. So that's how I look at it: building a brand. You have to build a brand. So even if you start with 10 people and you get to 25 and you get to 50, you're still building a brand that maybe a boutique hotel is going to say, "Yo, I want my meat from this guy," you know, and a restaurant say, "I want my meat from this guy," because you start selling quality, you start providing added value, special cuts, exactly how they want it. And I'm talking about it this way because most of us here are small farm. Well, all of us that I know of are small farmers. We don't have 500 animals. We don't have 1,000 animals. So we have to start figuring out, how do we build this business from a small scale? You know what I mean? How do we do that? You do that by providing value, added value, whether it's in the way you service them. If them say, "Yo, you know what? I'm gonna need the whole goat, but I need the meat, the head cleaned up, chopped up, and I need the tripe and stuff. Like I need a manish water kit, and I need it ready to go." Or you know what I mean? Or I don't want you to put it on the ice on freezer. I want it fresh. So we're gonna coordinate how to process the animal, and I come get it fresh. Value added. You can charge more because of that special service. He's not getting an animal that you just process. The meat is not processed and put on the freezer and he come get it, and it's been in there a week or whatever. No, you can. If you want that kind of value, you pay a little extra for it, and that's what I'm talking about, right? Build out from there and grow it accordingly. But you have to be developing your brand, because in the end, you want people to know that they can trust your product. You have people that are, you know, loyal to what you bring to the table, the product you offer, the services you offer. So off the top, I said, don't focus on what the next guy is doing because it doesn't have any relevance on your operation. It has nothing to do with your operation. It's not going to help you one bit if I'm focusing on what King Curry sells good for, what Maki sell good for, where Paula sell good for, where Oral sell good for, where Darren sell good for, Peter. No, it doesn't help me. It doesn't help me one bit. I have no interest. What matters to me is, what is it costing me to bring my good from birth to market. whether it's I'm processing it or whether I'm selling it as, to the next small farmer because of my starter thing. What is it costing me? How much profit can I make on these animals? That's the focus. Minimize cost, maximize profit. That's the focus. That's what people should focus on. Talking about the government helping to lower import bill, it's not going to help me. Because at the end of the day, I still got to deliver a product. I don't care what the government does, really, because Jamaica eat goat meat. I just need a piece of the pie. I'm excited when they talk about how much goat meat Jamaica eat, how much, them Jamaica import 80% or whatever it is. I'm excited about it. The reason I'm excited about it because there's a market that I can carve a piece out of. Carlos, what's going on? For anybody, the new people that are here, this is iGoat Chat. We talk about anything to do with small farms, goat farms, small ruminants, small farms overall, and how we can help. So it doesn't matter if the government put out some legislation to think it's a plus. However, I still got to execute. I still got to get my product to the market. I got to position myself so if those legislation does come, I can benefit. I'm in a stronger position than I was before. But if you don't have a business model that you can develop and scale, it doesn't matter what they do because you're not going to be ready. You're not going to benefit from it. The whole idea is to sell stuff, sell products from your farm, whether it's in the form of live animal, processed meat, goat milk products, goat milk itself, whatever it is. Even if you're selling cash crops and stuff, the concept is the same. So I know I may have some cash crop people here, not sure, but even if you're doing cash crop, if you want a sustainable small farm cash crop type operation, figure out what you can plant that turns around in 21 days, 30 days, whatever, and stagger them. Figure out how you can always have product and sell to restaurants or whatever it is. Bring value. If you can guarantee a restaurant that, I'm gonna have fresh lettuce or cabbage or whatever it is consistently for 5 months, 6 months, and them not have to worry about their supply, you're in better shape than if they have to keep going shopping around. Reliability, knowing that them can come to you and they can get it, and the communication of letting them know, I'm gonna be out for 2 weeks, letting them know so they can plan accordingly. So the same concept applies in goat farming and all of that. Like building out the business, scaling it, is having a customer base and that you can grow and communicating with them on what you offer and how you offer it and giving them an insight on what your production is. That's how you end up have loyal customers that will wait on you, or even if they have to fill a gap because you had a gap where you couldn't supply, they know that, it doesn't matter where I go to get it. When you're ready, I'm coming back because you provide quality. You definitely communicate very well, and you're dependable. Your product is superior to whatever else they're getting. If you see a restaurant that they provide them is less than a year old, you have to stick by that. You can't just go down the road and buy an old goat just to fill the order. Better you tell them like, yo, I'm gonna be out for a month, 2 months, because of production law or whatever. Explain them how goat business work, and they will come back to you because the quality you give them. Instead of going and get a old goat, and then when they use that meat, they're like, yo, that wasn't right. Something's wrong with that meat. It's tough. They have to cook it forever, or they have to pressure it, or no. You gotta hold your standard, whether if it means missing a month, hold your standard. Yeah. Um, Howard said, does any farmer here study through observation or otherwise the value of feeding bag feed over forage? Are grains worth a significant more expensive investment on meat product? Okay, so here's the thing. You can't feed just bag feed, because I'll leave that up. You can't feed just bag feed grain, because animals need dry matter. They need grass or hay or whatever. They need it. They can't survive without it. Um, so adding concentrate, which is, you know, the professional people call it concentrate, which is grains. It's an added input to whether you're providing it for more milk production or fattening. The animal put on weight more, growth rate, all that stuff. It's a source of energy. So it definitely helps with maximizing production. So whether it's milk and you give them some dairy ration so they can produce more milk, or it's, you know, the goat goat ration so the animals grow faster, a maintenance ration so the animals can, maintain them weight or their energy better. You still got to feed them grass or hay or whatever it is. You still got to feed them that. What we do on the farm, and I think I've gone over this many times, all maintenance animals, which is early pregnancy, open, not in the milking program, they don't get grain or concentrate. They're strictly on forage, strictly on pasture or shaft grass. Animals that are in production, meaning they're giving us milk, they're in the milk program, the bucks, because they need to be always ready to service, mothers with kids on them, or wean kids that market, they get a little bit of concentrate. And the wean kids that are going to market gets concentrate is because we want to keep that growth rate up to maximize the the market value of them. You know what I mean? The ones that we're keeping, yeah, we put into the general herd after 5 6 months. We integrate them into the general herd, but the ones that are definitely going to be sold at 4 months, 5 months, they all get a little bit of grain so they can maintain that whole marketability. So Nati from Chelsea says, I've gone to full intensive system, but I'm having trouble with them eating hay. Do you guys have any suggestion on how I can get them to eat more hay? Okay, so anytime you introduce a new feed, a new form of feed, it takes time. Grain usually because they love grain, it seems like put crack in grains or something, and you still gotta, you know, give them small amount and move it over. Um, hay is a different story because animals gravitate to the um, the forage that's around them that they're familiar with. So if you don't have that kind of grass in your here in your to begin with, it's going to take time for them to really develop a liking for the hay. But over time, they will. Um, I would suggest that you just let it be there and let them pick at it over time because really and truly, the hay's not going to go bad, but you just wanted to develop a likeness for it, you know. It takes a little bit if they're not familiar with it and it's not something that grows in their area. It takes a little bit for them to get used to it, but don't give up on it. Like, trust me, if they're hungry, they're gonna eat. They may not eat as much as they should, but the whole concept of introducing the hay and they're not eating it, make sure you supplement them with a little bit of grain or cut a little bit of grass, give them with it so that you know that they're actually getting something. But they will eventually get used to it. They will eventually eat it, especially when they're hungry. Um, since I started have fed grass exclusively, however, feed has gone a bit low. So I bought some Nutrimix goat grower that what I realized is just a few of the goats are eating it. Is it an acquired taste where over time they will, or should I try another feed? Hanif. Okay, Hanif, if your goat's never been eating grain, it's going to take them a while to get used to it. And you should give it a little bit at a time, a little bit, like quarter pound, half pound for the day. Because you don't want, if they like it, any animal that likes it, it's going to eat a lot of it. If you just give it too much and they may get bloat, or if they eat a little bit of it and they never had it before, they may have a little bit of diarrhea because of the change. But eventually they will like it. They will eventually get into it. It just takes time if it's the first time they're ever getting it. If they were having, if they were getting hypergreen before, then you needed to do a transition, which is um, 70% hypro, 30% Nutrimix. Um, 60% hypro, 40% Nutrimix, 50% of thing, and then reverse it, and then you'll get them converted. And see, Howard has an idea. You know, try sharpening it and mixing it with a little molasses. If your animals love molasses, then they definitely gonna eat it up. But for me, I don't do that stuff because what if I don't have molasses? What if they're eating it because of the molasses? And if I don't put molasses, they don't eat it. I want them to get an acquired taste for the actual hay without the additional input. But you can try that, you know. Um, would you consider transferring to Grande's alternate reality? What is that? I don't know what that is. Milk carton. I need clarity on that. Natty, if you mix a little bit of the hay with your cut and carry, maybe that will help. Um, mix it up, mix up the hay, like run it through the chaffing machine if you have a chaffing machine, and mix it up with it and see if they acquire a taste for it. Animal goats are picky eaters, so um, you just got to be patient with them. Well, let's keep trying, man, because hay is, if you can afford to have hay, it's definitely feed security. If you have the storage for it and you can get it at a good price, it helps like rainy days, and when forage is low, you have the hay, and your animals are not going to go hungry. Um, Gary is looking for cedar wood. If anybody can help him, hit him up. So another question: what assistance can you provide to young farmers who wants to get into goat farming? Reason for asking is that I think the prices that most of these farmers are charging is very high. All right, let's dig into this. And John, you may not like what I'm gonna say now, so I'm just putting it out there. If you're getting into goat business, there's we talk about this on different occasions. Figure out why you're getting into it. Why? Figure out the why. Why are you getting into it? If you're getting into it to provide a service, whether it's develop a product from goat milk, or you see that you can service goat meat to your community or a greater region, then you have to go in with a plan. How how you plan to execute this? Create a business model. Is it a milk facility, like you're doing goat milk products, added value, or are you doing goat meat, or are you gonna get into pedigree stock, selling quality animals to farmers? What is the why? Why are you doing it? You figure out your why, then you got to come and develop a plan or a model for that why. If your why, as I said, is milk, goat meat, or quality stock, come up with a model that you can start the business from. Right? I'll give you an example. Carber Ranch started because we wanted to do milk products. Not even just selling milk, it was the milk products. Because Trudy made milk products. We have she has an online store that she was selling goat milk products. That's how Carber Ranch was launched. But when we started, we couldn't get milk animals. So we had to pivot to just buying whatever we could find just to start. So as I said, don't worry about what the price of people are selling these animals at. Because if you're going into it, you have to figure out what's your starting point. Is it 10 goat? Is it 20 goat? Where do you get the capital to start? You got to look at the whole thing. Do not get into it if it's a real business that you're trying to do. Don't get into it until you can afford to get into it. If you want to start with 10 goats, can you house the 10 goats? Can you protect the 10 goats? Can you feed the 10 goats? Right? And remember, like any business, 3 to 5 years before you start making any real money. So it's gonna either be a side hustle or you have a war chest, what they call a war chest, which is savings that gonna keep you, that's gonna able to sustain you while you go full time developing this goat business for 3 to 5 years. I don't know anybody who has that, but you know, any business, that's how it works. Because if you really want to develop business, you got to put a lot of time into it. That's just the reality. 3 to 5 years before you start make any money. So if it is a side hustle that you're developing, you still got to have a job, which goes into what Thatchfield, or what's his name, Benjamin, Shane Benjamin posted about. You have to have another source of income for goat business. It's not just goat business, it's any business. If you start it, you'd have to have a war chest, have enough money to fund the business, run the business for 3 to 5 years, or it's a side hustle where you're making money over here and putting some money into the business to develop it. And at some point, if you have a good business model, you will know if you stay on track, the business will start paying for itself at some point, whether it's a third year, fourth year, fifth year. You know, every time I talk to our advisors, um, because I'll tell you guys, we get down sometimes on the progress that we're making because our vision is so huge. We get down on, man, are we really making progress? Is this a real thing that we should consider, or we should just give it up? But then we talk to our advisors. We have advisors, people that are doing bigger things than what we're doing, or they're more savvy business people. When we talk to them, they humble us by letting us know, yo, you thinking like this is supposed to happen overnight. They'll point out to us the the benchmarks that we're making, the progress we're making, but because we're so involved and so anxious to see success, we're overlooking these successes and these benchmarks. You know, we got one advisor tell us, yo, we shouldn't look at this business like we're gonna make no money until we get to the fifth year. Like I'm like, yo, are we gonna pay for that? Like whatever. It's like you gotta figure out you're in it for that long, and you're gonna be, you know, have to figure out how can you hang in there and put everything you got in it for that period of time to see the returns, or to be a side hustle that you keep putting it stuff, resources into to grow it. The fastest way to grow it is to go full time with it, but you need resources to go full time with it. So the business part of it, if you're not a business person, get a mentor who is a business person that will explain the processes and the steps that you need to take to make it a business. You don't want to get boggled down if it's not your strength, but you need to have somebody that you can sit down and talk to and say, oh, this is what I want to do. This is all. And they'll explain to you, okay, you need to do X, Y, Z. And you just, figure it out and focus on what your strong point is, where maybe it's the husbandry, maybe it's the taking care of the animals, maybe it's making sure you have nice animals that you can put on the market. But then you have a mentor, business mentor, that's going to guide you on the business side of it. But trust me, it's if you looking at it as a real business, that is the approach. That is the approach. And trust, and don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it. You can start with 10 goat, and if you have a good solid plan, it may take you a little bit, but if you have a solid plan, you can get there. And I will tell everybody, including the legends and the man them here doing it a long time, diversify your operation. Try to create revenue streams from all aspects of the operation. You know what I mean? Sell the goat droppings, or even use the goat droppings and create value added product like manure, like compost, right? Milk every goat, every mother. Try to figure out if you can milk them and find somebody you can sell the milk to or make your own product. Utilize, create all kind of revenues from your operation. You know what I mean? Like, and not only that, use up every square inch of that facility to make money from it. You know what I mean? Nothing, no part of that facility should go unused. It should be that if you have an acre, 2 acres, 10 acres, make sure it's helping to produce revenue. That's the approach. Like, just like focus and say, yo, look at your operation and see how many different things money I can make from this. Even sometimes it's not about the actual cash, but it's the value. Like, yo, if you have a decent operation and some school want to come through and do some tours or agricultural program once, whatever, you're bringing value to your community. You're getting people involved. You're developing a reputation as a decent operation, and people will say, oh, yo, you know what? We'll buy our meat or whatever from, Cabra Ranch or from Chelsea Best Farm or whatever. Like, not everything is cash. Sometimes people getting involved or getting the community involved brings value and opens up a market. We started with 7 goats. There. My producer's on it. Dr. Young started with 10 sheep. But you got to remember, when we bought 7 goats, we did 3 years of research. 3 years of research of how we want to do it. And I can tell you, I've said this before. The first phone call was to find out, how do I feed these animals? Khalil Brown. He was in Israel at the time. Because to me, that was the most important thing. How do I feed them? Like, what do I feed them and what the feeding program should be? Second call was Dr. Young, which Khalil Brown gave me Dr. Young number with a bunch of other people number. So the second call was Dr. Young. So it's how to feed them and Dr. Young to tell me how we care for them. And Dr. Young was so nice. She brought her whole team to the site to inspect our site to make sure it was right for what we wanted to do. So you plan it out. Don't rush into it. Don't say, yo, marketing to goat business, we need 2 goat right now. We need 10 goat right now. No, do not. One, start with a small number, figure out how to care for them. Go through all aspects of the operation: breeding, kidding, bringing a kid to adult stage, even experiencing death on the farm, experiencing bottle feeding, experience all of it before you scale it. Experience all of it. Like, we're guilty. We went into it, and some of the things we actually scaled before we experienced death on the farm. We didn't have death until we decided to scale and buy some extra goats. And that's when we experienced death. Our first 7, 12 goats, everybody was happy and bouncing around and doing things. Not until we scale up and decide that, okay, now we're gonna get some more animals. Then we start experiencing death, we start experiencing sore mouth, we start experiencing diarrhea, start experiencing all that stuff that we didn't deal with before. However, we were somewhat prepared because of so much research. Have a whole bunch of you guys, the people who are here on iGoat chat know I've shown them the saved documents. I've shared it, the amount of research we did on the things that nothing surprised me. The only thing is, until you're doing it, you don't understand how involved it is and how much energy and emotions you go through when you have to physically deal with it. So yeah, um like any business, if you're taking it as a business, if you just want to go to be pets and keep them good for holidays and Christmas time, whatever, then that's different. But if you want to turn it into a business, you better put some real research into it. You know, talk to some people, go volunteer on a farm, on a goat farm, and see how it really work, or visit them for a couple of days. You know, so that's my advice. And I'm sure everybody here, the iGoat family, would tell you, yeah, it's a solid advice. Well, my big auntie Jasmine is here. Big up auntie Jasmine, truly big friend. Um, so any other questions? Let's see what Howard says. Sheep or goat? Which is more appears to be more profitable in Jamaica meat? Dr. Young can answer that question best. Here's the thing: from my research, goat meat is more in demand. However, it's sheep is a niche market with higher returns because it's such a specialty product. You know what I'm saying? So, like the high-end clients, restaurants, high-end restaurants, hotels, they want sheep meat like rack lamb, what I mean, all that stuff, and they pay a higher price point for it. So you can, if you get into it, the market, and you can navigate the market, then of course you will do well there. However, it's a limited market, or a smaller market. I wouldn't say limited, smaller market. Goat meat is in Jamaica is a bigger market, but it's less organized. Anything where I've like more money spent, people are paying more money for it, tend to be more organized, tend to be, you know, on that level. I don't hear nobody arguing about sheep selling and sheep this and no, I don't hear that. So Dr. Young can give you more on it because she sells sheep meat. Um, and the Jasmine, he's using somebody else's name. Him don't name Elizabeth. His name is Howard. He's using his wife's account. Wilfrey, what's up? How are you, sir? Or ma'am? I don't know if it's a female. Um, how about mutton in that supermarket? Most people buy as goat, not knowing. Okay, that's been happening from time, from I was a kid. In fact, when I was a kid, I thought goat meat was mutton because everybody call it mutton. And until I was an adult, then I realized goat meat is not called mutton. It's called chevron or something. Chev, yeah. Mutton is old sheep or mature sheep meat. Lamb is, of course, young sheep. And so the meat that comes to Jamaica and in the supermarket and is labeled mutton is either culled or mothers or mature rams that they discard or cull and process and sell it as mutton. So, and another thing that I want to get into is if you have a small, if you have a small goat meat operation, the key for your success is to market as homegrown Jamaican goat meat, and you're positive it's goat meat. And don't be scared to tell people, say, yo, don't go to the supermarket, go buy that meat because I'm mutton that an old sheep. Use the word old sheep. Like, don't be scared to market your product as it is. Emphasize the value in what you have. Don't be scared to tell people, yo, the mutton in the supermarket is old goat, old sheep meat. Connor, what's going on? Big up all the people from the YouTube channel. Big up all the Facebook participants. You know what I mean? Make sure you tell your customers or people who are looking, or you're marketing your product, to let them know what your product is. You know what I mean? Sometimes it may cost you if you have a little cookout, a little thing where you cook and invite some key people to come eat the tender curry goat, or you know what I mean, put the rump on the grill and let them come taste a different type of goat. What do you call it? Goat cuisine. Like, you gotta figure out a way to get your product out there. Let people know what you're selling. Let them know what the potential is for your product. You know what I mean? It's that, and it's easier these days. It just takes discipline to do that because of social media. You know what I mean? There's many different ways to get people attention through social media. You just have to have the commitment. And don't get me wrong, every business does have to do that, have to market their product. The reason you buy Pepsi or Coke or Lasco is because they constantly market it to you. They constantly advertise it to you. Remember, I was a kid, Milo commercial. We used to think that Milo was like some super, give you superpowers and them something there. It's a marketing. You know what I mean? It's the marketing. When I was a kid, my check said like Milo was like Milo and Alex and them thing. They make you think that you'll get superpower up on the floor, on the play field. You know what I mean? Here's my aunt's asking why people say that ram goat is better meat. Jamaica have a thing, you know. Jamaica have certain nuances about them. And I don't want to get into it now because I've heard so many different things about it, but Jamaican don't like eating female goat, which I agree because we actually need females to grow the market. So I don't agree with processing female goat for meat. However, there's another reason them no want to eat goat meat. We won't get into that. And them love to smell the ram goat meat, like it smell rank. But any ram goat meat you can smell that there's the ram goat smell, that's all meat. And that's the meat we have for pressure. So that's the part of the education and the marketing that we need to get people to understand, that if you want the good meat, it has to be under a year. And I can profess that we've tried it and we have sold meat to our close associates that they can taste the difference. It's more palatable. It's more, it's tender. It's more flavorful than the old meat. When the mothers get old, Vivian, this is what you do. Ask Judy. You can process it and turn it into burger meat. Because then that when you make a burger meat out of an old mother, then that meat is grounded up, ground beef, and you can you can season that before you actually make the burger patty. So then that flavor gets infused into it, and it's not as bad, and it cooks better because it's small pieces, right? Yeah. So you can do that. When a goat get old and you feel like you need to color a processor, yeah, turn it into ground beef, ground not ground beef, ground goat meat. Make burgers out of it, or make you know lasagna, goat meat lasagna, or whatever. Yeah, like widen, educate people so you can sell them more products. People who have traveled, people who have a wider, what do you call it, palette, or what's the word, truly? Type it in there. The term that they use, that when you're more open to to try different cuisine. Um, Target those people. You know what I mean? Target those people, or just create the dish yourself and put it on social media. And the people that are into that stuff will reach out and say, "Yo, you have grounded goat meat. I want to try the goat meat lasagna. I want to make, you know, pasta with the goat meat lasagna. Like the goat meat, the grounded goat meat. Yeah, you have to market it, sell it. You try it, then you make it at home. You try it, looks good, it tastes good. Post it. Somebody will say, "Oh man, I've never thought of that. I should reach out and see if they have more." Yeah, as Mr. Peter say, if you're a foodie, yeah, and reach out to more foodies, the people who are willing to try things, and they will pay for it. They will pay the premium price for it. You know, they will pay the premium price because it's the supply is so limited. They'll pay for it. And you got the people who love to know that the for them thing exclusive. Can you imagine you have a party, and you know those exclusive party are the people with good disposable income keep them little party, and the man I say, yo, you know what I mean? I put a whole rump of the goat on the grill, and it's done as if it was, you know what I mean, a sheep, a sheep rump or something, done the same way, and they don't even realize unless you tell them that it's goat meat, well properly prepared, flavorful. Then now you can sell the whole rump of the goat, premium cut, good money. You have to. You have to create value to your customers, you know? And that's the key. That is the key. Any other questions? The ranker, the better. Yeah, that's it. That's what them say. Yes, the ranker, the better. Yeah, yeah. You like in the countryside, especially you selling ram goat meat. Them want to smell it like the ram goat stand up beside them. But it is a thing for them. But the people them are really care about what it tastes like a restaurant, or a boutique hotel, or a top chef. Another thing you guys should target if you're selling goat meat and anything, target the chefs. You go to a restaurant, top end restaurant, make a relationship with the chef. Figure out, call him out and meet him. That's what we do. Everywhere, decent restaurant we go eat, we try to meet the chef and figure out what on the menu that we can provide, we can sell to them. And it works, trust me, it works. when is the when is Cabra Fest? I'm okay. So here's start. Let's find this out. Let's figure this out between us as family. Should it be Cabra Fest or should it be iGoat Fest? I guess I need to post like one of those survey things on social media, Facebook or Instagram, and get people to vote. Um, Judy says it should be iGoat Fest. Well, yeah, I think I liked iGoat Fest because as we talked about weeks ago or months ago about developing that educational side for us as a iGoat family, I think iGoat Fest make more sense. If the goat if the goat's too old to sell, what do you do with the goat? Well, as I said, Anna Jasmine, if the goat is too old for the meat to be as to be eaten like curry goat or whatever, you make burger meat out of it. Or if or if there's not a thing enough there, whatever, then you just let the goat die a natural cause. Um, see, yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely put up a survey. iGoat Fest. I think iGoat Fest is a better thing because of the educational side of it. This iGoat brand to us is all about giving back and educating people and informing people. And that's what I want the conference or a fest. I think it's going to be more of a conference and I want it to be special where people can come and get real valuable information. I'm not into the show goat business, but if Maki have an amazing buck, we'll bring the buck so people can see the potential. The the most amazing Boer buck, amazing Nubian buck, amazing milk product producing female, like a nice buckling that at the age of what you would process it, and we talk about the meat to bone ratio and the benefits of having that kind of animal in your meat production system. That's where I want to go. I don't really have no, I don't want no competition. I want information, everything information based, you know? Well, see, that's another thing because I'm gonna need like two chefs for do some different type of cooking and create some special menus and some special dishes for the people and for say you want to just curry goat. What I mean? We're gonna have goat meat sliders. We're gonna have, let's goat meat lasagna. We're gonna have, what I mean, goat milk cheesecake. We're gonna have, what I mean, Ruby Goat Farm there to do the showcase for them thing. Trin Jam farm to showcase for them things. And like, yo, that's what I want. I want people to be inspired that it's not about no show goat thing. It's about different ways to develop a business from this. You know what I mean? Um, hold on. What caused a mother to ignore one kid while accepting her twin? So is that a triplet, or she has twin and she only pay attention to one kid? Give me a little clarification, David. We've had that happen, and what we do is the mother, force the hold the mother, let the kid that she doesn't want to suck, let the kid suck until she accept the kid. If she doesn't, then you have to bottle feed the kid. Do not do not ignore it. Do not ignore that, David. Pay close attention to it for at least a week to make sure that kid is getting the nutrients needed, getting enough milk. And if the mother is not budging and still refusing the kid, then you got to bottle feed the kid. And just you guys remember, kids are money. When I look at my kids, all I see is dollar signs. Seriously. Everybody see cute kids. I see a bunch of dollar signs bouncing around. It's what I see. Kids are money. If even if I have to get them CPR myself, I will. I haven't been able to yet because either the ones we lose it before me know I won. But yeah, that's what I see. That's the money. That's the revenue. Kids on Carbon Ranch means revenue. Whether the kids are born, are we getting milk from the mothers, or the kids in turn are gonna turn into, you know, hit the market. Kids are revenue. You gotta save every kid. Yes, David, do your best. If the mother doesn't take the kid at all, it happens. If she, especially if she's a first timer, it happens. Then you just milk her and get the kid, get the milk from her and give it and feed the kid. Bottle feed the kid. Or if you have real milk replacer, yeah, yeah. She just it's one of those things. It happens, and you just gotta, you know, bottle feed the kid. Um, She also said, curry goat pasta I'm not defend with two goat burgers on the side. See, this is the beauty of us having discussions like this because people, you see that, and how many people in here think like, oh, maybe that could be a thing for real. Maybe it's happening already. Maybe that you already experienced it. But how many of us actually thought that curry goat pasta could be a real thing on the menu? We've done goat burgers many times, but we've never done the curry goat pasta. So that's the thing. Telling you, like, if you wanna have a successful goat business, you gotta look at all aspects of it, and you gotta get more people to like it, to fall in love with what you're doing. Get them to create different products. Get them to like different things about it, and that's where you gain success. You if you think about even cell phone business, look how many different cell phones and look at the different things they do, and look at the ecosystems of cell phones and smartphones. What I mean? Look at the apps, the this, the that. Look at it the same way. You could have 100 goats and you're able to develop a real solid business from those 100 goats because you have five different revenue stream from them. It's crazy. You just have to think outside the box. Think about how we can make it happen, or you can develop a product. Milk products, goat milk products, the milk itself, lotion, soap, um, cheese, different type of cheese, cake, like cheesecake, all different things. Like it's amazing. You just have to put in the work. You just got to put in the work. Creative. You just got to be thinking outside the box and utilize what you have. Maximize what you have and don't stick to one little thing. Like the goat is producing, dropping every day. It's a byproduct of having them. Somebody will buy it. Or Khalil Brown told me one time that when he was at um, Bodles, Bodles was creating compost, developing compost that Hyper would sell on at the store. So think about that. If they did it for Bodles, they may do it for you. Good droppings, compost, and you bag that properly and get them to develop an account with them and bring it to them and let them sell it. Because at the end of the day, the goat them might drop it anyways. I do nothing extra, forget it. So you just have to say, okay, how do I turn it into compost? Oh, you just go over, dump it over there, so and turn it every 2 weeks or whatever you do. Get some professional advice from like that Mr. Farron or somebody. And there you go. I'm just giving every bit of information or thought process that I've had that me and Trudy discuss on a regular. Um, some of the things we can get to because we have more focused things that we're developing. But all of these things we've talked about, we have it written down somewhere that we should do it. Verma compost, whatever, the ones with the worm, we talked about that. Yeah, we can, as a collective, these are the things we can do. These are the different source of revenue you can create from the one nickel operation. And turn it into a successful business. And think about, I talked about branding earlier. Think about, say, if you're into milk and you develop a trusted brand that's selling, you come up with an amazing way to make cheese, some form of cheese, or even a cheesecake. And it's so good that people just keep asking for more. And you figure out a way to scale it. Then all of a sudden, somebody's going to come calling and say, yo, either we'll partner with you to make more of this stuff, or we get 5%, 20%, or we go 50-50 or whatever, and we have the ability to market it and sell it bigger. It's the brand. You develop a brand. So you just got to think about these things. The sky's the limit. I think about that all the time. I want a brand that can sell to Grace Kennedy or one of them people. I think about it all the time. Either sell it to them or partner with them. Okay, you see, I'm an old man now, so I can't really, I don't have, 30, 50 years to be grinding this out. So I gotta put, metal pedal to the metal and come up with the ideas of building the brand, getting people interested, getting people to follow the journey, follow what we're doing, and trust what we're doing. So yeah, that's it. Any other questions? No more questions. We're calling it a night. I must thank everyone for being here. All our, faithful participants, people who never miss an iGoat chat. Thank Dr. Young, Peter McCook, Howard, Auntie Jasmine, my mom, David, Lucien, Natty, David, Linda, big time, we're big time family, Linda. Um, Farm to Table. I'm just going through the list of people that participate. Mr. McCook, you don't know how it go. Vivian, big respect. Connor on the YouTube side. Um, Everybody that's participated tonight, give thanks. We appreciate it, and thanks for participating. Thanks for being a part of iGoat Chat. And we will do what we need to do on a weekly basis to provide information and valuable discussion that helps everybody make decisions in their operations. Um, as simple as it is, something that's discussed here may help one or two people. So we appreciate that and we give thanks for that. And we will see you guys next week. Before I go, John wants to know what's the process to get the AI done on my goats. Contact Dr. Young. Dr. Young was here. I don't know if she's still here, but the AI program, the government has, Jamaican government. John, are you Jamaican? Are you in Jamaica or are you international? The Jamaican government has a small ruminants livestock development program going on. And there's a program going through the JDDB, and then there's programs going through the two feed companies. So I would suggest you reach out to your rider rep if you're Jamaican, or contact the JDDB directly. Yeah, so Johnny, you're Jamaican, so contact JDDB directly. Paul Sears had post a application online that you can go in and fill out the thing. Or if you got the resources to pay for it yourself, contact Dr. Young at Nutrimix, and she will come do an assessment and get it done for you. If you have the resources, meaning if you have the money to pay for your own AI thing, contact Dr. Young. And you can find Dr. Young on Facebook, or email us and we'll link you up and connect you with the necessary parties. All right. All right, folks. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And we will see you guys next week. Thanks for participating.